Hey, John here again. So I'm messing around with a few snow blowers and came across something interesting, well, at least interesting to me. Carburetors, which I'm not an expert in carburetors, but I've been messing around with these things for years. And traditionally what I've done, whether it's a little carburetor, Waldro, Zamro, Tilson, whatever it is, I always buy a little $5, $7 carburetor kit and go through it and repair everything, but might not be doing that in the future. So anyways, let me show you what I got here. I've got an assortment of these little carburetors for weed whackers, for leaf blowers or chainsaws, that sort of thing. The difference between these and like these guys here are, you can angle these chainsaw upside down, doesn't matter, they still go. But what I wanted to point out is I would buy it like a kit for these carburetors when they started messing up, and they come with these little rubber diaphragms and fuel pumps, and just they get hard and stop working. And then there's inside you got this is where the fuel, there's a screen in there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's this I don't know if that's coming on the camera, but the screen in there, that sometimes gets clogged, and underneath the screen there's little tiny orifice that might get some gunk in it. I mean, these are just dirty, but so you can pick that screen out with a pick, and you might have something in there like let me see if I can focus on this. Yeah, I don't know if the light is going to show up. You see them two little pinholes there? Let me see if I can get a pointer. These two little guys here. It's probably more than two. There's one. Yeah, there's one, two. So anyways, I take something like this and poke these holes, and get the gunk out or whatever. There's actually one here that leads to the inside here. Excuse me. But anyways, that's what like I said, used to do, and most of the time that would do the trick, right? But see, I'm working on this. Well, you get a guy like this, for instance. This thing's shot. It's all, it's rusted. It's just shot. So I wouldn't even attempt to rebuild something like this. But this, what prompted me to do this video, is because when I do get a carburetor that has issues, whether it's hunting or just problems running, and a lot of these you can't do anything with. This carburetor actually you can do some stuff with as far as tuning it. But if you get a carburetor with a plug on the bottom of the bowl like this, if this was on there, if you saw there's absolutely nothing, there's no holes in this, there's no, it's an untunable carburetor. So they're probably the worst. Then you have a plug like this. I don't know if you can see this again, but again, see if I can zoom in on, I don't know if that's focusing or not, but you see that hole there. These things just get corroded up with crap, and you blow your air through there, you poke them, you do your carburetor cleaner. This is the high-speed jet, by the way. And normally when a machine, I get one in that's hunting all over the place, normally it's this high-speed jet. You clean them up and they're fine. You get a guy like this where there's no holes or whatever, and generally speaking, not all the time, but like this guy, you can send the high-speed jet will be inside here, and you can use a little thin, a little thin bladed screwdriver. There'll be a slot in there, and you can draw that pin out and clean it, clean that up. There'd be holes in that one. Generally speaking, cleaning the high-speed jet usually does the trick when it comes to a bad running carburetor or engine. But this one's shot, and this is absolutely no good, except for the intake manifold I might use. And these parts I might transfer over, but so this is a better you know, it's the same deal, but this one's obviously shot. But I want to show you, like this is a tunable carburetor, but you see how, once again, I don't know if you're going to be able to see the, I don't know if it'll focus or not, but there's little holes, tiny holes. Let me see if I can point them out. I mean, you can see these holes here. Probably. I got my glasses on, I can't even see myself. There it is. This little hole here, it's hard to tell if I can, actually the camera's picking it up, but let's see if I can focus. Abracadabra, focus. No. Anyways, there's a little tiny hole here, and I like to send a little wire here. There's 3 holes in this machine. Actually, this one's pretty clogged. Won't even go through that. There it goes. So the 3 holes. First of all, this pin comes out. This is a high-speed jet, and it doesn't look too bad. There's not too much shit on there. No washer. But if you look through here through daylight, you can see, you know, it looks pretty clean. But an overlooked hole is that little guy there. This little guy here, it needs to be cleaned out. And that generally, cleaning these holes, there we go, got it in there. You can see in there, well I can, but cleaning them holes, like I said, generally speaking, it solves the carburetor issue. But the reason I'm making this video is not because I'm an expert at carburetors or none of the above. Here's what I found was interesting. The difference, well, first of all, these carburetors are different, but as a whole, I'm going to start doing things different. This, instead of buying a kit, which could be $5, $10, you know, sometimes $15, depending on what you get for the kit. You know, because you'll get the bowl seal. You might get, like I said, a full kit. You get this seal here for the you know, the high-speed seal, the bowl. Sometimes Welch plugs. Sometimes, you know, depends on the kit you get. A full carburetor kit might cost you $12. I don't know, $15. And then you got to go through and clean everything, poke everything, blow everything. And it's never 100%. Sometimes these little, if it ain't the inside this throat here, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that on camera because that is way in there. Man. Anyway, trust me, there's, when you open that valve, and I can't really see on the display there, there's little tiny 3 little holes in there. You know, every time you open this valve, one of them's not covered, the other 2 are. And if it ain't the high speed, you know, cleaning that little guy up, I found more than once poking holes, not poking holes, but the holes that are in there, poking that little piece of wire in them 3 holes, countless times that solved the problem. That being said, like I said, you buy a kit, you clean everything up, even them 3 holes that are most of the time overlooked. And this one only has 2, I think. I can only see 2 in there. But as you can see, they correspond to, you know, these holes in here. You know, again, I don't know how a carburetor works. I'm not pretending I do, but cleaning them up, I do all that poking and prodding. And don't forget them 3 holes, if that's what you want to do. But literally, this carburetor is okay. It's tunable still. So this one is shot, right? So do you get a kit and, you know, go through and well, I wouldn't even attempt it. This thing was just shot, so just toss that. But something like this, if it's giving you problems, it's hunting, it's doing whatever it's thing, it's not running right. Do you get a kit for $5, $7? I guess the point of this video is, this is a brand new carburetor. I don't know where it's from. I don't care where it's from. Algeria, China, I don't care. $13 this whole carburetor cost. How are you going to go wrong with that? So from here going forward, I mean, this comes off a Tecumseh engine, so you know they're pretty common. It's going on a snowblower, but they're pretty common. I don't know why it's so cheap, but it's dirt cheap. $13. I mean, I've paid for carburetor rebuild kits that are $13. So that's the point of this video, I guess. Even though I got a little lost there, but you know, instead of going through and cleaning them, getting that carburetor cleaning your eyeballs, and then you know, whether it's hit or miss, whether it works or not, just chuck the thing, get a new one. I mean, this is the identical carburetor. I don't know if you can see, but the identical carburetor. I mean, minus this little contraption on the front, two little screws, you know, I got to replace, but everything's the same, identical. Got the low speed over here. You have to transfer this piece over too, but the carburetor itself is identical. I can't even believe they still make them. I didn't know they still made them. I was fishing around along and found it on Amazon, and for $13, it's identical carburetor. I just thought they stopped making, you know, the tunable ones. I didn't realize they still made them, because this is old. You know, these are old. And today, when you buy a snowblower, they come with, you know, fixed jets. You can't adjust them. They're worthless. I mean, even this type here, it's a little bit cleanable, but you can't, you know, adjust it as far as this just bolts onto the bowl. This type here, when your snowblower is running, you just tweak this guy, and well, first of all, to set them up, you know, bury it all the way to the bottom, go all the way to the bottom where it don't go anymore, and then turn it out 1.5 times, and that'll get you set to, you know, basically where you can start the thing, and then you can tune it from there. But once I set that, I also, the low speed, you can't really see it there on this side. This low speed one, you bury that too. I back that one out 1 turn, but I start with the low when it comes to, when this is all hooked up. I might even show that. I put this at 1.5 turns, bury it first, screw it all the way down, back it off 1.5, and then this one I screw it all the way down and back it off 1. It'll get the machine started, and then with the idle, the throttle, I put the throttle down to idle mode and adjust this, and you'll know when you start adjusting it, it'll start running a little bit rough or clear up, you know, that sort of thing. So you get it into a happy spot, and that's the low side. And then for the high side, put the throttle all the way up, and if it stalls, don't worry about it, just restart it, and then just go easy. But this is adjustable for the high side, so when the thing's wide open, you can do the same thing. You just you know, you don't open it up, or, you know, just little increments, and you'll hear it, you know, whether it bogs down or gets better or whatever, and then you're all set. That's the idea behind the springs there. It just leaves it there, and that's it. But can you imagine $13? I don't even know how they can afford to make this. I mean, they making them by the thousands. $13. I am so going this route. Never buy a kit again for $13. You gotta be kidding me. And I'm imagining these, you know, haven't looked these up. I always just get the kit because they're easy to rebuild, and generally speaking, it does the trick. But if these things are $13 or even less, why bother taking things apart? Just get a new carburetor, a couple of bolts, you know, bang, bang, transfer, you know, an intake, some, you know, little doodads here and there. This is a no-brainer. But anyway, that's all I got for now. I just thought I'd share that. Just unbelievable that it's so cheap. It's unbelievable. Anyways, thanks for watching. Well, there you have it. New carburetor. Tuned up. She works good. Thing wouldn't even run with the old carburetor, so it's a fix. Once again, carburetor's $13. If you got a carburetor issue, don't even think about rebuilding it when you can get one for $13. That's all I'm saying. Later.